welcome to Coffee and Calacas. I'm your host, Joanna. If you are new here to this podcast, I just want to welcome you and remind you that this podcast is a weekly podcast where we sit around the coffee table, talk about stories of the supernatural, mysticism, and the beyond. If this is something that interests you, please stick around and enjoy the show. Thanks. Okay, so this week's episode is about let me see if I'm going to pronounce it right. I don't want to mispronounce it. It's called the Cihuateteo. Okay, so we'll get into that. The reason I picked this, not necessarily to go with a theme, but as I'm reading, trying to see what's something different, maybe things that haven't been covered, things that are a little obscure. This is something that kind of stood out to me, and it was very interesting. Um, it's basically a I mean, it's kind of like a woman, kind of like not necessarily a monster, but it's something, okay? And it was just very interesting how it came about and what the abilities were for this creature and I was just like, huh, very interesting. Started thinking about stuff and I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, um, you know, what's similar to it, right? Have I ever been in a situation where a Kiwatateo would have ever appeared to me? And I don't know. I don't think I would have, but I mean, it's strange. So, let me jump in and tell you what it is. Because just talking about it like this, it's not gonna really help. So El Kiwatateo is actually a female, so she was a divine woman. Okay. And she's kind of revered as a goddess in the and I believe it was the I don't want to say it's the Aztec, could have been Mayan Aztec culture. I want to say. Let me yeah, I want to say it was the Aztec culture, and I didn't write that down. I should have written that down. But yeah, in the Aztec culture, she was a divine woman. However, she died during childbirth, so basically her soul was taken up to wherever the gods and goddesses are. Um, she was considered basically a warrior because apparently, um, having a child is equivalent to dying in battle, and so she was revered and considered this um someone that you're supposed to respect. However, whenever she would come to earth, she was no longer this divine woman. She was actually this demon, this monster. And she would take children because she never had her own because she died during childbirth. She would come take children, attack people at crossroads, um, seduce men into I guess misbehaving, whatever you want to call it. Just I guess basically like weeding out, okay, this guy's a cheater, I've proven to you. So she was considered a monstrous of sorts, because whenever she was on Earth, she would attack people and cause injury. And I found that so interesting just because, you think to yourself, well, um, how 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 strange is it that, this woman um who is supposed to be a mom but didn't get to become a mom, you know, full on because of her dying is now coming to earth taking kids and hurting people. Like that's so the opposite of what a mother's supposed to be. A mother's supposed to be nurturing and caring and loving and protect her young, protect those around her, and she's the opposite on earth. But in the realm of the gods, she is that. She is this divine person who endured something so extreme, which is childbirth, that she's revered, and it's like, wow. And I started thinking, um, if you're from Brownsville, um, then you know about the university, you know about the ghost of the university. And if you could refer back to our first video, ghost hands, you hear a small history about the university itself. And I think about this one time I had gone to the university. I was at school for something. I can't remember exactly what. I think I had a meeting. Yeah, I think I had a meeting at the school for an organization I was in, and I get in my car. Well, actually, I arrived at the school. I parked in what used to be the Fort Brown Village. You know, where they had a. I mean, if you long ago, before the university was like as big as it is now, that area, the Fort Brown Village, they had a ballroom. They had like a barber shop. It was a little plaza of sorts. And I remember, going to what was left of it. And the university had formed it into dorms of sorts. But I think the day had gone, it was no longer dorms, because they ended up building dorms apart from wherever this was at. And basically that area was just kind of run down and abandoned, which I didn't mind, because it had the best parking. No one parked there, and easy to park, easy to get to and from where I had to go. So it was convenient for me. And I remember, one day I arrived at the university. I parked, got off the car. Um, I mean, there's actually the first time I actually parked there, and that was a creepy story all on its own. But that's for another day. For now, I'm gonna tell you this one. So I parked, went inside, did my thing, and I come back, and I know it was late. I'm not sure if it was like 6 in the afternoon, but I know it's getting like dark. So I get back in my car. It had already been a few hours that I had like left the car alone. So at that time, the car that I had was my mom's car. My mom's car. One of the doors you have to actually like to get inside. You had to open it from the inside. It wouldn't open from the outside. It wouldn't unlock. So you had to do that. You had to roll the windows down and roll the windows down because it didn't have no manual, automatic windows. No, I mean it didn't have automatic windows. It were manual windows. So you actually had to crank them down, which I love that car. So good. Honestly, it was one of the best cars ever. And it had no radio, so all I had were my thoughts. And surprisingly now, my same thing wrong with my car. It has no radio, and all I have are my thoughts. And I mean, I'm okay with that. But anyway, so I get in the car and I'm about to take off, and I look in the rearview mirror. I look, and I swear I saw. I want to say it was a woman sitting in the back seat of my car. You know, so I mean, I stop. I turn around, like literally turn around, and there's no one there. And I look back in the mirror, and okay, no one's there anymore. But for that split second, I saw someone. And I mean, didn't think anything of it, whatever. Get back and, drive off, go home. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes a ghost can follow you, not necessarily to cause you harm, but they feel a connection towards you. And that connection can, like, bring him back to your house. So maybe I did. Maybe I brought something back with me, and, I wasn't at a crossroads, but imagine, the Cihuateteo, you're walking at night, you're in a remote village, and you're walking to let's say you're walking to your comadre's house, and you just happen to be walking through a crossroads, and out appears the Cihuateteo, and um she's mad, and she wants revenge, and she sees you, and she's like, "Oh girl, look at you, looking all young and fresh and full of life." And she attacks you, and why you? I don't know. But it attacks you. Or you're a young man, and you're walking, and all of a sudden this beautiful woman appears, and you're thinking, "Oh, wow." And she basically seduces you, and you know she's kind of like a succubus, and they consider her like the Mexican vampire of sorts, from what I read. That people do think that, yeah, it's true. She seduces you, she takes advantage of you, because she wants your life, she wants to take over you. So I mean, how true is that? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say how. how much truth is based on these legends. I mean, are they more than just legends? Is there actual truth behind them, or is it just, a story that's told to kids growing up because, hey, you want them to behave, and they're getting on your nerves, and you're like, ya Juanito, ya párale, and you tell them, si no te callas, te va a llevar, el Cihuateteo. And I mean, when you give it a name like that, yeah, it's creepy, it's scary, it's something to really put a chill down your spine. And if you're Juanito and you're 6 years old, 7 years old, and you're acting like a little fool, and your parent tells you that, and you're thinking, is it true? Is it gonna take me? You know, you're more than likely going to behave. And I mean, what I found is that that yeah, she's considered a monster here on earth, but again, which is a total opposite of what a mom is supposed to be. A mom is supposed to be someone who's loving and nurturing, or most moms, because let's be honest, we know a few moms out there who are anything less than nurturing and caring, and you know they just suck. Some moms like to starve their kids, and other moms, like to keep their kids nice and plump and make sure that they have cookies and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's just throwing it out there. So yeah, I mean, maybe what it is, it's that the Kiwateo is so mad that she didn't get to be a mom, that all the worst qualities of what a mom isn't come out in her, and that's why she attacks, and that's why she takes kids, because she's like, I feel unfulfilled. You know, I mean, w- what else? What else could it be? I mean, it's pretty terrifying. She's depicted as having like a skull flake, like a face of a skull with claws of an eagle. And imagine, you're Juanito, and you're thinking, "Ay, pues el quibosteo," like, you think of a skull with eagle claws coming at you. Yeah, you're gonna behave. You're not gonna want to, like, mess with that. And which reminds me of La Catrina from El Dia de los Muertos. I mean, she's a skull face. I mean, not necessarily is she eagle clawed, but that skull face of sugar candy, face. You consider, is this kind of where, like, our stories are based off of, they branch out from these, stories. Because I mean, I can see that happening. I mean, look at the Roman times, you have, like, you know, Greek dramas, and they all have the same thing, and everything is like Romeo and Juliet, and everything is based off of that, and everything is a star-crossed lovers, and at the end they fall in love. And I mean, it branches out from these things, and that's kind of what life is. I mean, I remember watching this video once years ago, might have been in 2012, so about, what, 10 years ago. And in that video, this guy is talking about music, and he's playing a song actually. I think it was a guitar, not sure. But he's playing a song, and he's telling you, you know, all these songs are based off of this one particular, like, um chord combination from Pachebel, Canon in D. And he's telling you that I believe he used to be a cello player at one point as a kid, and he's like, it was the worst thing ever. The cello hardly ever gets a solo, and the cello always gets made fun of. And that song haunts me, and it comes out in everything. And he starts naming songs, and it's song after song, where yeah, you hear that repetition, and yeah, you can hear how it's built off of that. I think one of them was that vitamin C song, the graduation song. He shows you that one, and he shows you a Blues Traveler song, and he tells you, these are all, combinations, and they're based off of this one, canon in D by Pachelbel. And he shows you, and it's like, oh, okay, wow. I wouldn't have picked up on that on my own. I mean, maybe because I'm not a music major. Maybe if I were, I would have picked up on it, right? But I'm not. So to my, ear, it sounds fine. It doesn't sound any different. But once you start actually, like, singling it out, yeah, you pick up on that. So maybe it's the same thing with this. You have things, the stories are built up off of, these little legends that we had years ago. and you think, oh, okay, so this is where this comes from. You know, the sugar skull face. This comes from, this legend, from this story, and yeah, and you know, it's a sign of death. And yeah, the Cihuateteo, she's sort of like death because yeah, she died in childbirth. She takes kids. She's revered. She's someone you honor in the world of the gods, but on Earth, she's a complete opposite. She's basically the Grim Reaper, and she's coming for you because, you know, why not? She can. So yeah, this is something I was thinking about, and I thought, well, it's possible. I would definitely need to read up more on my, um, I guess you could say, Mexican history and Aztec history, and all them cultures, and just really, I guess you could say, just really, you know compare things, compare stories. I mean, I like I tell you, I do read a little, um and I do research this stuff before talking to you about it. But in the research, some of it's kind of not bland, but it's very short. It's short in the context, and you have to wonder, is there just not enough research, or it's people just haven't researched enough on it. But yeah, as I was reading this, I found the Mexican monstrous, the Cihuateteo, um, quite interesting, and I thought, wow, I had never heard of her. Um, Now the Aztecs used to, in order to, I guess, keep them happy, they would place little altars and at crossroads, and you know, um, put food and drinks out there for the Cihuateteo to keep them happy, and keep them from attacking people. So like, okay, so in the research I did see that possibly the legend of La Llorona is based off the Kiwiteo, because you have this creature that takes kids, and then La Llorona also takes kids. So I did see that, and I will make an episode on La Llorona all alone, because she is deserving of that. But yeah, that was something that I had, found interesting. So like, yeah, like I said, yeah, white face, skeletal face, um, eagle claws for hands, very Aztec looking thing, ripped clothes, things like that. And it's supposed to show that, yeah, they died, they battled, death in childbirth, and they lost, but it was a battle worth losing, because they're warriors, you know. So the Aztecs considered childbirth to be a form of battle. They treated women who died in childbirth as fallen warriors. Their word for it, and I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try my best. It says Mosinaketske, Mosinatske, Mosinaketske, Mosinatsketske, which means valiant woman. Okay, so I mean, they had songs, and they had little festivals, and ways to honor the Kiwatateo, because they believe that they need to be honored for going and having a child, and whether the child and you survived or not, that was a different story. It was just the fact that you were able to do that, because I mean, men can't have children, so a woman's battle with childbirth is just incredible. I mean, you push a human out of your body. Like, damn. Wow. I'm impressed. So if you're a mom out there and you've pushed out a baby out of your body, congratulations, you're a warrior now. Yeah, I mean, they this is what they were, women who were considered just amazing for having babies even though they died, and they take your kids, and they take your man too, and hey, could be worse. It could, I don't know how, but it could be. Um So it says that the Cihuateteo were such powerful beings that when a woman died in childbirth, her family had to guard her body carefully to prevent thieves from taking relics. The middle finger of her left hand or her hair. Warriors believed that if they placed this finger or hair in their shields, it would make them stronger and braver and blind their enemies. So imagine they're like, "Oh, you're dead. I'm just gonna take your finger." Well, hey, man, kind of attached to that finger. I want it, But so I mean, impressive that that's where all that comes from. Um, so what do you think? What do you think of the Guitateo? Do you have any more information on the Guitateo? And if you do, let me know. I'm kind of interested to hear what you have. Um, you know, it's always interesting to hear more on there. Um, so comment down below, like and subscribe, and follow us on social media. You can check out our website at galacaspod.com, and there are links to all our social media accounts there. Okay, thank you, and have a great day. And remember, life begins after coffee.